How are you doing this morning?
Hi.
You want to tell me what your business is or what you do?
I do Ayurvedic like diet and lifestyle coaching.
Okay.
And I set up an Instagram page, but and I've got Canva and all the things. I don't know. Like I look at other people's and I'm like, they're so cool. That's so cool. I wish I did that. And then I'm like, oh. And then I go on the app and then I start and I look at YouTube videos and I try and I don't know. I can never find what I need.
Yeah.
I mean, I managed to, I don't even know how, like kind of put together like a trifold, like a kind of a pamphlet. I had someone design like a logo from Fiverr or something, and then I managed to kind of, so now I've got that on my Canva thing, so I can kind of use that for print stuff.
Okay.
But for me, it's reels really. I think because of the kind of stuff I do, people want a very practical,
Mhm.
no, I guess a little bit like the YouTube shorts that are around.
Yeah.
Just that very quick, introduction. The ones that I've done so far, just too much blurb at the bottom. It's like a static picture. I have done a couple of reels, I think, but I mean, I was like, there's got to be an easier way to do this.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, cool. So I can walk you through how to do that. I think the biggest thing for most people is they don't lay down like a solid foundation of like their brand, like their template, their colors, their stuff like that. And so they're almost like always starting from scratch every time they go to post. And then they feel
Yeah.
like that's too much, right? It's too much. I don't have that kind of time. And so what we do is I'll show you how to really build up your branding kit in Canva, and then how to use like that mobile device on your phone. Like we'll create templates and use the mobile device on your phone. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
All right. So let me share my screen. And you can see the screen, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Perfect.
perfect. Let's see. So what you want to do when you get back on Canva, over here in the top left, there's a click for brand.
Yeah.
You want to click that, and then you want to hit brand kit. And then you're just going to click new. And this is recorded, so you'll get all of these too.
All right. Perfect. Then I won't pass around.
And then I'm just going to put training. And this is one of the biggest parts that will help you as you create content on Canva.
Right.
So you're going to upload a logo. I'm just going to pick some random
Okay.
photo. So let's say this is your logo. Once you upload your logo, the colors of your logo will automatically pop up. So you
Yeah.
never have to start guessing if that matches or if that looks right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then if you have any type of service or anything like that, that's specific that maybe isn't in that color scheme, you can add those too. Here's the other part that's going to be beneficial for you, especially if you're using Instagram or Reels or, YouTube Short,
Yeah.
is the fonts, because it's an aesthetic that you're creating, right? When you walk into Walmart, it's going to look a certain way versus if you walk into Target, so it's the
Yeah.
aesthetic, and you use that with color and fonts. Here's a thing that's different that could be helpful. This allows you to, because AI is really
Mhm.
coming in strong. This allows you to describe your brand voice. So if you're informational, if you are, humorous, if you are like warm and fuzzy, whatever that looks like to you, you would describe it here in your brand voice. And then what you'll do is, and I'll show you as you are, creating content, and maybe
Yeah.
you're like stuck on words, you can use the AI features to bring it back to your brand voice.
Okay.
And then if you have any photos, like live photos of things that you've done or places that you've been, outside your office, kind of the, background or like B footage stuff, you can always upload those photos here.
So
If you
that's a good question. So sorry to interrupt you.
no,
So,
please.
like randomly when I'm out and I think, oh, that's a cool photo, that's a cool photo, rather than it getting lost in or on my phone and
Mhm.
then I'll forget about it, I guess as I'm taking it, I can upload them onto Canva here so
Yes.
that I'm starting to build up a bank of useful stuff.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I love to use Canva in my in-between spaces. So like if I'm standing in
Yeah.
line at the grocery store, I'll do a little something because I'm not going anywhere, right? And it's 3 or 4 minutes that I can do something. So I love it for in between. Any graphics that you have, so if you have stuff like when you got your logo design, sometimes they offer different graphics to kind of complement your logo, or
Mhm.
sometimes it's different icons. You can add all of these things here. They would be like the equivalent of stickers on Instagram.
Okay.
So you can add those there, again, keeping with the aesthetic. So once you have added all of that, you're going to go back to, excuse me, your home page.
Yeah.
I always start with the square Instagram post because you can use it on every platform. So when you're creating a template, always start with the square Instagram post.
Okay.
And then, you know, if you are building like, what we call evergreen content, the information you
Mhm.
just kind of post over and over again, or you're looking for a certain aesthetic, I would find something that had a lot of opportunity. And usually those things with a lot of opportunity are in posts that are for real estate.
Okay.
And it doesn't mean that you have to keep it looking the same, but I'll just give you a couple of examples. There's a lot that I can do with this that has nothing to do with real estate, right?
Yeah.
Same for this. There's
Yeah.
just something that I can do with that. And the real estate or templates just seem to have a really great opportunity to kind of allow me to do different things, right? So even something like this, I can change the background. I can make this a did you know? I can give people steps
Yeah.
or instructions. If I wanted to give somebody a checklist about how to prepare, whatever it is, real estate kind of always does a
Yeah.
great job in giving you the opportunity. Even like a this or that or a do or don't. These are great ways to engage and keep people, on your post, clicking, sharing.
Yeah, exactly. Because a lot of the stuff I do is seasonal. It's yeah, kind of sort of I follow the lunar cycle and things. So they've got to be things that there are things, and like you say, because most of the content is evergreen content.
Yeah.
So yeah, it makes sense to prep it all. Rather
Yeah.
than what happens, I'm like, oh shit, today's like this day. And I like start doing it. And then I lose momentum, or I'm like, it's taken too long. And then the days got, well, it's too
Yeah.
late. And I'm like, well, what's the point now? And and that's stopping me.
Yeah.
Um, and I guess it is just practicing. But like you say, that was a good tip to say, actually, rather than, to use Canva to build up a bank of
Yeah.
stuff when you
Mhm.
have got time rather than when you need it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to throw a couple of things on here just as kind of examples. And I'm going to show you how you can kind of build out. Now, obviously, I'm not paying attention to any aesthetic or anything like that. We're just going
Yeah.
with some images that, we can throw around. Okay. So generally speaking, you want to have about 5 different types of content, right? So you have your about you content. As
Yeah.
you're building your audience, you still have to reintroduce your about you. like where, the start was from, your hours, how to contact you, the process of becoming a client, like whatever that looks like. So you have your about you. And so this is what I do when I first create a template for a client. I go in and I create a template stage. And so this first row is all the about me stuff, right? And then let's say this second row is going to be all the did you know stuff about the industry that I'm in.
Okay.
So now I've got about me and did you know about my industry. And then I'm going to put like service, products, opportunities to purchase, connect, whatever that looks like. And then I'll have another row for engagement, right? So whatever those things look like to you. And the reason that having this visual template is so important is because what you get to do is, let me show you. I literally go in and I type.
Yeah.
And what it does is it creates kind of placers for me. So I know that everything on this first row is the about me.
Yeah.
Then I take an afternoon and I create content or templates or things like that for each of these rows.
Yeah.
And so let's say I'm creating all of this for December. Well, maybe in 2 weeks, I got a couple open days. I'll copy this and make another one for January.
Right.
And then I just go in and replace, each one or update it or change it a little bit or whatever that looks like. So I have a robust amount of content that can go out very easily, very quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think that's the thing I'm struggling with, is that there's too long a gap between, I mean, I'll post stories and repost other people's stuff, that's fine. But in terms of what's on my page, it just looks really sparse.
Yeah, yeah. And usually when people, like the first month that people get this done and scheduled, it gives them this chance to just be creative and spontaneous, because they're like, I don't want to post because I haven't posted in 2 weeks and I'm gonna, right? So you're posting. People are seeing your information, people are probably engaging. And then the other thing that you can do is really start to pay attention on being intentional in your post. So maybe you don't have enough call to action, but you'll be able to visibly see what is missing, right? Once you build up the content and build up that, kind of bank of content for people to see, now you can go and be creative. So here's the other thing. If you prefer Reels, still do your Instagram square and then just change the size. And you want to make sure that you copy and resize so you don't lose the template that you started with. Because if you just resize, everything goes to Reels. So you want to copy and resize. And now all the things that we did in Instagram Square are now in Reels.
Okay. So you can use them again for that.
Yeah. So now you have a background that you can use for Reels, and you don't have to recreate something from scratch. So let's say we're gonna do this one. This can be the background. Obviously, you can go in and kind of size it so that, if you want to put your face in there, whatever that looks like, or if you want to add another photo. Let's say you're at an event and they're talking about what you have content about. You can minimize your evergreen content and then go in and add a photo of you, or ask the question, or take a photo of the live event that you have going on. Or just, you can go in and change the do or don't, or, pick or choose one. And you can do all of that right in your phone on your Canva app.
And this bit all sits under home file. Let's see if I can find
And
it.
then the other thing is, you can also have videos already ready to go. So when you're going in, and maybe that's something that you are talking about, or but you can have videos already in your templates. And then you can add text or your voiceover or whatever that looks like for you. But it's already there.
Yeah.
And if you have a handful of these, you can do that. Another way this is really, really helpful is if you have another row, and just name it like holidays, or like special dates, or whatever. Like, you don't have to wait until the date is coming up to create content for it, right? So you can have all of that content ready to go. So when we get a client, we ask them which holidays does their organization celebrate, and we already take care of all of those holidays immediately. And then we're just kind of checking, like, is there anything that we should be mindful of, like with current news as it relates to this holiday, to make sure we're just being sensitive to that. But you have all the holidays there. So any dates that are important to you, you can do it 6 months out. You can have that content 6 months out, and you can even schedule it 6 months out. And then when you are, sometimes it's hard to kind of sell our services or what we do, or give people the direction to become a client of ours. And so if you have already created content that tells people, what services you provide, what it looks like, the process, the steps to take, and then you kind of create a storyline for that, people can follow that. So if you say, the first one is, here's the 3 services that we offer. And then the second one is service number 1 explained, service number 2 explained, right? Like, you're breaking it down. And then you talk about how easy it is to onboard, or here's how you do a consultation. And then here's how we onboard our clients. And then here's what a first step look like, or a client experience, or testimonials, right? When you build, 10 or 15 of those posts, that's evergreen. You can just kind of keep it going.
Yeah.
And then that way you don't feel weird when you have to post about it, right? Or you can use it as a reel and say, like, here's one of the services that you provide in the background. And then you get on the video and say, I really love this service because, so you bring fresh life to a post that's evergreen, right? And so that gives you even more content that you can have and that you can share, so that you can be more creative and spontaneous, and not be worried about, I haven't posted in a while, this isn't going to make sense for my audience, they haven't heard from me or seen me, because you have all this stuff there. Yeah. Okay. So that's the second thing. So first is your branding kit. Second is start with the Instagram post to build your like foundation template. Third is resize it to the platform that you love the most. And
Yeah.
then start to get creative and intentional with it as you fill it in. Make sure you always change the date of the file. So like this would be, you know, November. The next one you want December. Even if a lot of it is duplicated, because when you go back, you want to see, okay, did we post this 12 times or did we post it 3
Yeah.
times? Like, did people see it enough? The other thing that's important is people think I'm posting too much, and in reality, you're not. People aren't seeing everybody's post all the time. And so there's no such thing as posting too much. There is a such thing as posting too much of the exact same thing. So if all of your posts are call to action about how to become a client, people are going to get numb and they'll kind of disappear. But if your posts are different and engaging people in different ways and giving them opportunities to, you know, see your credibility, learn about what you do and how you do it, see you as part of the brand, people will stay engaged with that. They'll keep coming back, or they'll keep on your screen instead of just scrolling. Okay. All right, so let's go into kind of what I call like the part that kind of levels up what it is that you're already doing. And I'm hoping that it works. This is AI. It wasn't working yesterday during a training, so fingers crossed that it is working today. Let's see. So you're going to go back to home and you're going to hit this first one, this doc.
Okay.
And then do me a favor, drop in the chat. If I were to say, what do you do in your business? Drop in the chat your response, what it would be. So I'm simply going to go to this doc. I'm going to use AI, fingers crossed. I'm going to press this. This is the magic write.
Right.
This is Canva's AI function. And I'm going to click magic write. And I'm going to say, please create, let's say 10 topics about, and then I'm going to take what you said you have or what you do,
Huh?
and I'm going to hit generate. Yay, it worked today. All right.
Yeah.
So with this, let me make that a little bit bigger. So with this, it's AI. You have to still put a person on it, but it gives you ideas or content that you don't have to think of on your own. So as you're building out your template, you can go in and say, you know, random thoughts or different posts or, you know, things like that. But I wouldn't stop at right here. So let's say understanding the principles, right, is one that we like. I'm going to copy it.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to go down here. And I'm going to hit plus. I'm going to go magic write again. And I'm going to say, create a blog about one of the social media posts that they suggested. I'm going to hit generate. And it's going to give me a blog. If
Wow.
you don't have like blogs that you send out, here's a script that you can record yourself saying, you know, like in your own words for your reels. So if you prefer to go live, you prefer to do reels, you prefer that it's your face talking, instead of using it as a traditional blog, you can use it as a prompt for what to talk about, right?
Yeah.
And so technically this could probably be 3 talking points, right? So if you have 3 talking points for each of these posts, you now have 30 days of video that you can record And we did that in 2 minutes, right?
True, true.
So let's try one more thing. Let's see. And this is what I'm hoping works. We're going to try their magic design. Yeah, it's still not working. This one is coming. I wish it was already here, but what you want is for it to design the images for you, right? Or come up with the visual ideas for you. So that one's still working. So I'm gonna jump into ChatGPT really quickly.
Okay.
Now, this is the paid version. It's like $20 a month. And you can use different plugins for it. Let's see. Okay. So I'm going to say create a Canva design for, oops. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's fine.
Yeah. They just changed their functions as well. So you used to have to pick
Okay.
which one. Yeah, the default. I see. This is the only like hiccup when it comes to, yeah, when it comes to using AI.
Yeah.
Is that sometimes you don't get, it won't work, basically. It won't work.
Yeah, but you're saying that this function is coming in Canva at some point.
Yeah, so that's the goal in Canva, is that it happens. So they have what's called their Magic Studio.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be like kind of already built into that Magic Write, kind of how that Magic Write was. It's supposed to already be built in. It doesn't always work. But that's what they're working on. But this is just to give you an idea, like the opportunities to create content are coming really quick, right?
Yeah.
And so even if all we're starting with is even if all we're starting with is this.
Yeah.
And then even for this one, like the importance of balancing, you could probably say, break that up. Oops.
And yeah, and then you can have some really quick kind of.
Yeah, but it gives you just this bank of stuff. So let's say I want to, wait, let me do this one first. Hold on, one at a time. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm excited. Magic Right. All right. Oh, I could spell. Hopefully it picks up that I'm in hashtags. So now you're getting some hashtags in there. So I took one of these and I asked them to split it up into 5.
Yeah.
Right. Do you see how you can just like have this whole bank of content? I would keep all of your content in one document. That way you can just go in and tap into it over and over.
Yeah,
And
you can cut and paste the bits that you want.
yes. Remember the first part that we did, which was the branding kit, where it said brand voice. So this is why that matters. So I'm just going to take this, their Magic Write, and we're just going to sprinkle fairy dust and see what they come up with. So this is what they change it to. They change it to match whatever your brand voice looks like. And so if you're
In
like,
2 seconds, someone's at my door. One sec,
no,
one sec.
no problem.
If that helps. Man. Sorry about that.
You're good.
Oh, sorry.
No worries.
Yeah, no, but I see what you're saying. This is yeah, I mean any of these sort of features that you're showing me today, I didn't even know they existed. I was
Yeah.
just faffing around with the, like templates and then you kind of, and I keep kind of going back and then I lose the template and I'm like, are you kidding me? Like,
It is very important to name whatever it is that you're working on, because
yeah,
they pull some random name. Sometimes it's the first couple of things that you type, sometimes it's, other things, but it definitely gives you an opportunity to quickly identify, whatever template is that you're working on. And so let me share this with you.
so like for me from home, you're saying the first thing I should do is go to, you said a square Instagram square post and then work from there.
Yeah. So first, from the homepage, first I would make sure you build out your brand kit. That's going to make all the difference. So take the time.
I did start with that actually, because I did the brochure. I kind of started then taking the text, like you say, like the kind of the font and stuff like that. But now I see the way you've shown me today, it looks a little bit more kind of cohesive. I think I was just
Yeah.
like randomly saving stuff.
Yeah. No worries. No worries. So brand kit, and then the first one that you create should be the Instagram square,
Yeah.
because you can potentially put it on every platform, right?
Yeah.
It's very easy to go on every platform. And then once you do the Instagram square, you're going to build out, your content as you see fit.
This
Always.
page here that
Mhm.
you've got open here, where's this coming from? So when I go to home, I've got Instagram square. So I'm just trying to see where is it that you, and then like when you see, then what I get when I click on Instagram square is like all the, like you have all these squares that come up and then it says create blank.
Yep. You can hit create blank.
Yeah.
And then once you do that, you should just have one big one. I'm in the viewing. You should have something like this, like one.
Mine doesn't come out like that. So I think in the mobile version and the computer version is different, isn't it?
It
Or no?
is. It is a
Yeah.
little different. Yeah,
Yeah,
it is a
it
little
is.
different. So
I
this is,
think,
you want to create your templates and everything on a desktop or a laptop.
yeah, that's
Yeah, and because on the desktop, there's a little icon. Can you see that down at the bottom for the grid view?
yeah,
When you hit that, that's what gives you this.
right.
Yeah, you can't,
Yeah.
I mean, you can
Okay.
see it a little bit in the mobile, like when you create additional squares, you can,
Yeah.
I think they just do like 2 at a time, but it's
Yeah.
not, it doesn't give you the same presentation as the desktop. Yeah.
No, I think you're right, is to do all the playing on this.
Yes.
Now, quick question, it might, once, if I pull loads of pictures, can I then use them offline? Or do I need to be connected to the net? Or every time you're using the app, you need to be connected to the internet?
Yeah.
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 Okay.
So sometimes what I'll do, like if I'm going to a conference,
Mm.
I'll create a bunch of like background themed images and I'll
Right.
save them to my phone, right? So if
Okay.
I know like the colors for the conference or maybe hashtags that I want to use or something like that, because it's hard at a conference to really, be creating content. So I'll
Yeah.
create the backgrounds or the hashtags, or like I'll pull a picture up of the hotel or the conference logo, and I'll put all of those into a template like this, and then I will save those to my phone so that
Right.
when I'm ready to create content, I can just put on top of it whatever I want, and it keeps with the theme, it keeps with the color scheme, it has all the meat and potatoes, but then I can post what I want to post. So like if the last conference I was at, it was teal and white were the colors of the conference.
Mm.
So I had white background with teal elements, sticker kind of things happening. And then every time I, wanted to take a picture of a speaker, I had put in templates like this. So I would put in things like this
Yeah.
to the side. And then if I took a photo of a speaker, I just pulled out, but then I could just drop that photo right in there, and it looked as if I created the whole thing. So I might have, like, if there's a panelist or there's a bunch of stuff, or something, I might duplicate. Like if I can't get all the stuff in there at once, I would create the template for this ahead of time. And then when I got into the panel discussion, or when I'm in the presentation with someone, I might jot down like, the takeaway or whatever. And all of this, I'm doing this part, like all of this plus any logos, I would do ahead of time. And then I would duplicate it so that it would look different each time I did it. So I would, maybe I have a bunch of photos.
Mm.
Right? And then I change up a couple of things, but I would do it so that it looked like I was being organic, but all I was doing was putting the photos in and changing a
Yeah.
little bit of the text.
Yeah.
And that's how I do it when I'm on the go. Now, if I'm doing it for like Instagram Reels, then I wouldn't put like text, and I would leave the photos blank so that I could just put the photo over it.
Yeah.
And so I would save it with the blank photo, and then I would put my photo on top of it. So it still gives the same look, but all of the, meat and potatoes are there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's see. So I'm going to send you a copy of all of this so you have it. And make sure I've got your email. So I will send you a copy of all of this. Any questions that you have?
No, I think that's fine. And then say if there's sometimes like an existing reel that's on and you just want to kind of like, sometimes they have these reels where someone's kind of walking through the forest or whatever, and then there's like words coming in. Yeah, can you just show me sort of how I access that? And then kind of, again, I'm assuming it'd be a series of those kind of, in a forest, in a rocky mountain, whatever, like seasonally. And then, yeah, and I'm assuming then that you just go in and change the words. And then they kind of just, then it's your words that kind of come across the picture.
Like that.
Yeah. So where do these kind of things sit? Because
So these are in the video. So on your menu on the far left, you'll see like your photos, the videos. These are the template ones that they provide, that they have available. And you
yeah,
can
I mean, for my stuff, the pictures don't need to be anything really. It's the information that people want. So this is anything to do with nature or whatever kind of goes.
Yeah, and some of them have sound. I don't know if you can hear,
Yeah, that one you could hear someone walking
right?
by.
And so here's what you would do. So you would get the photo that, or the video that you wanted, go to text, and I'm just gonna copy this. Because we already have content now, like we don't have to recreate
Yeah.
the video, right? And then I'm gonna add, so this is why it's important to add your fonts, because they're gonna default right here for you. So these are all the ones that, I created, but this was the one, remember, that I created today. So that's
Yeah.
why you want to do that brand kit. So I'm just going to add text, make it the size that I want.
Mhm. Wow.
I'm going to put this in. I'm going to probably squeeze it a little bit. And I'll probably keep it over to the side. I'm going to do it with the video so I can tell what color I need to make the font. I've got to edit the font based off of how the video plays.
Yeah, hi, please.
So see how he's walking through?
Yeah.
I got to change that, right? Or I got to pick another type of video. So when you go back to your text, there's two things you can do. Go to the effects and you can lift it, which lifts it off of the actual print. Sometimes you can outline it. This gets a little sketchy depending on what it is that you're doing. Usually the lift is good. If you need to do a background, you can do a background. You can change the color so that it's white, and then you can make it lighter so it's not like super white, and then you can determine like how thick you want that to be, and then you want to go to animate, and animate, and then typewriter is what you're looking for.
Nice. Yeah, exactly that. So this is what I've struck. I couldn't, but I can see now, like, it's just that's what that function is for. Okay.
Yeah. And then you want to do it on enter, and you can make it slower or faster. So obviously that's too fast.
Yeah.
Bring it down.
Yeah, because then you can time it to kind of go with the reel so that it doesn't flick off.
Yeah.
I guess when, like if the reel finishes. So where that guy, like, say if the reel finished, okay, it'll happen at the same time, I see.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can make this bigger. So you can, pull it out, and that's just the line spacing.
And then on here, say now that's one page. If I wanted then another one to come, how do I add it? Because that I've played around with and I couldn't get it to kind of.
Yeah. So you would there's a couple ways. You can just add a page here.
See down there. Okay.
Just go to the next page. If you like the way this looks, duplicate. So duplicate the page.
Yeah.
And then we can change the video.
I see. Okay. So then the template itself stays the same.
And then now you just get your words from someplace else.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then if you want how your words show up to look different, because you got, like, this one's a slow one. Let me see. Right. So you got to go in, you got to change the color background or change the text background, so that it matches. And this is a fast-paced video, like the water is running fast. So maybe you don't want it to be the typewriter. Maybe you just want it to rise up. And then you can, again, change the speed.
Nice. Okay.
So it rises up. Yeah. So those videos and photos that you were collecting, upload into your Canva. And just like we were picking the stock ones, you would be able to pick from your upload folder.
Yeah. Okay.
So I am forever, like, if we're on a car ride or whatever, I'm forever like my hand, trying to take pictures of the sun and stuff like that. Because it's perfect, it's beautiful. And it's not going to be a stock image or anything like that. The other thing you can do is, if you double click on the image or the video, you can change the perspective of what you see.
Okay. Yeah.
So you can still have all the things, and maybe you just want to move, move it around, but it definitely lets you manipulate those
Yeah.
images. Yeah.
Love it. Thank you. Yeah, that's given me quite a lot to think about already.
Yeah, absolutely. So you
Yeah,
definitely,
sometimes you just need to sit and have someone navigate, like, and just click on the things.
yeah, yeah.
Just
And I'm
awful.
gonna send you the recording. I'm gonna send you all the templates. That's one of the benefits. I think there was supposed to be like 6 people. So
Yeah.
whenever we have like 1 or 2, we just use their stuff, and then I just send it to them, because it's so much easier to take what we've already started and
Yeah.
manipulate it than try to like watch the video, start from scratch, watch the video, start from scratch.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
send you a link. When you get the link, um, you're gonna have to make a copy. So
Yeah.
you'll get it from me, but because I own it, you'll have to make a copy. All you're gonna do is hit file and then make a copy, and then you'll be able to edit it however
Fine.
you see fit. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep. Yeah. Good
Brilliant.
deal. Any more questions?
No, I think that's enough to keep me going with. If I need to get hold of you to do another session like this, is it the same way through Eventbrite, or can I do it a different way?
So we're changing our platform. We're not going to do, I don't think we're going to do Eventbrite anymore. We're going to
Okay.
just have the registration on our website, but so we're rebuilding some stuff on the back end. But you'll get an email of upcoming, we're releasing our 2024 calendar, training
Okay.
calendar. And so you'll get that email from me letting you know about upcoming training dates.
Cool. All
Yeah.
right, that'd be brilliant. Thank you very much for your help. I didn't even get your name.
It's Nisi. You're good.
Thank
I
you.
don't think I said it.
I'm Jay. All right, no, that was really helpful.
Yeah, of
Really
course.
helpful.
Of course, of course.
Great.
Perfect. Well, you have a good rest of your day.
Angie,
Of
Angie,
course.
thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Enjoy your day. You'll get those things right after.
Perfect. All right. Thanks a lot.
You're
Cheers.
welcome.
Thanks, Lucy. Bye-bye. Bye.